So in today's video, we're going to go over axe throwing scenes from movies. I thought it would be really cool to do. And I tried to pick out the most realistic, plausible, you can actually make these throws scenes from movies. So let's just jump into it. What's up, guys? It's Wes, the Suburban Viking. I am Midgard Axe. So I picked out some movie scenes that I wanted to go over with you guys, and I tried to remain realistic in this approach. There was a bunch of them, but I tried to pick ones that I thought were realistic, and then I kind of wanted to go over with you and kind of just nitpick them a little bit, or, you know, give props where props was due. So let's go over each movie scene. I've got a couple different movies I've picked scenes from, and then we'll just kind of go over them together, and I'll tell you what I think about them. So before we get into the video, I do want to say two things. Number one, if you guys are interested in knowing what happened to my finger and why I'm not throwing an axe right now, wait till the end of the video and I'll tell you guys at the end what happened and what's going on with this finger. Number two, I do want to introduce you guys to my new channel, which is called the Suburban Viking, unfiltered, unplugged. As you can see, I've got a pew pew on the wall, and then I've got my Dane axe behind me. This is going to be the new background for the new channel, okay? In that channel, or on that channel, I should say, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start talking about everything. I'm going to go over life. I'm going to go over politics. I'm going to go over Second Amendment stuff because I'm a big Second Amendment supporter, First Amendment stuff, everything about our country, deep diving into conspiracy theories and stuff like that, things that I do personally in my life. And I was like, you know what, I'd like to share it with you guys. So it's going to be called the Suburban Viking, unfiltered, unplugged. I've got to make a symbol for it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was thinking about maybe like a white circle with SV. I don't know. I'm going to film a video today, but I just want to tell you guys, go check it out. I'll let you know when it drops. But the first video is going to be about the whole Trump thing. And also the first video is going to be about some stuff that you guys don't know that I know about our ports in our country, especially in Virginia, because I'm a longshoreman. I've got some really good information on how you guys might not know about what's going on at our ports in America and what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm going to give you a look at it in that video. So come and check it out. So let's get into a few axe throwing scenes here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the show Vikings. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. I actually just finished watching it. Someone recommended it to me and I was like, eh. And then I started watching it. It was actually pretty decent. Historically accurate, not really, but it's still a pretty decent show. So let's start with the first scene. So in the first scene here, we got Ragnar, who is fighting with someone. He turns and sees this man and then decides that, hey, I'm going to chuck my axe at him. He rears back and he throws it. Really good throwing mechanics. He does. He has some really good throwing mechanics. You can see that in the way he throws his axe. He throws it just like I do. And he rears back, he throws, you see it rotate in the air, and then you don't see anything else. And as you see here, it looks like he walks up, he flips the guy over and finds the axe sticking in his chest, but it's not the guy he was aiming at. I will say it's a little strange because in the first scene, you see everybody kind of running away, so it looked like the axe should have gone in someone's back. Little things that we see in movies and TV shows, but I will say that throw is totally doable. I do that throw all the time, so that was pretty cool. I did enjoy that scene. Now in this scene here, Ragnar's fighting with somebody, then he decides that he sees a guy coming, and then the guy kind of looks like he stops. Ragnar takes a two-handed over-the-head grip and throws his axe at the guy, hitting him in the chest. Now, I will tell you guys, this is actually pretty decent, but if you didn't notice, he throws this left-handed. In the previous scene, he has really good mechanics with that right arm throwing. But in this scene here, he's throwing left-handed. And the reason why I saw he's throwing left-handed is because he stepped with his right foot and he had his left hand on top. When you throw an axe with 2 hands over the head and you're right-handed, you normally take your right hand on top and you step with your left foot. So that tells me he's somewhat ambidextrous, which is really cool when it comes to axe throwing. And I will say that in the distance that it looked like with what looked like maybe a 18 to 19 inch axe, that looks about appropriate distance for a single rotation. So that was really cool. His force in which he, kind of wound up and threw the axe looked like it matched the axe speed hitting the target, which was really cool. It was just a really good, in my opinion, kind of realistic approach to a double-handed over the head throw with about a 19-inch axe, single rotation in the target. Pretty decent. I'm with you, brother! In this scene here, this one's a lot harder to do. It's possible, but it's hard. Okay, so you're leading your target. Looks like Ragnar's fighting with someone, another enemy soldier's advancing on Ragnar, and Rollo decides, yells out, and then he decides to throw his axe at the guy to prevent him from getting towards Ragnar. Now, I will tell you guys that this throw right here is pretty challenging. You are leading, but you're not leading left and right. You're leading with the target coming at you, okay? And what you have to do is, depending on if it's a single or a double rotation, you have to account for the time it takes for you to throw the axe and it get to the single or double rotation mark, meaning that you're going to have to start your throw before that person makes it to a double rotation mark if you're throwing a double rotation. So if I have a target coming towards me, I have to set up, I have to be able to judge where that double rotation mark is and then throw the axe before the person makes it to the double rotation mark. It's possible. It's hard to do, but it's definitely possible. It looked pretty good in the TV show, and it looked really good in this scene. It looked like it might have been a single rotation, but guys, you got to remember that if you're throwing at a target coming towards you, find out where it's at. If it's a single rotation, wait for them to get right before the single rotation, anticipate them coming, throw, and then hopefully you hit your mark, and you're at the single rotation, and as it's rotating, the target meets that axe head. Pretty cool. Pretty good scene.
Ivar.
So in this scene here, you got Ivar, who's at the end of the table. He picks up an axe and kind of chucks it at his brother Sigurd, dragon in the eye, and hits him in the chest. I will say it's a really good throw. He's got good throw mechanics. You can normally tell when someone throws something how well they can throw just from their motion of their arm, if they have good mechanics or not. So it was a really good throw across the table. His mechanics look really good. I will say that table looks like it's probably, if I had to guess, anywhere between like 8 to 9 feet long, maybe a little bit longer. And with that axe that he threw looking like more like a hatchet at about 14 to 15 inches, you can get a single rotation to hit its target at that distance. And normally people say 12 feet. No, you can get your axe to hit closer if you know how to throw. It did look like he kind of took a whipping motion when he threw, which is what I do whenever I have to rotate an axe a little faster at a shorter distance. The only thing I have a problem with this scene is that when he threw it, the axe hit sideways into Sigurd, which was kind of weird, unless he kind of threw his hand like this, which is possible, which would have caused the axe to rotate sideways. His arm mechanics and the way that he released the axe didn't look indicative to the axe rotating this way. However, it is plausible, it is doable, and it just looked like it was a really cool scene. Other than the axe kind of hitting sideways when it didn't look like he was throwing sideways, I will say that the realistic point of this throw from one end of the table to the other was doable, and it's pretty cool. This was one of my all-time favorite movies as a kid, which was Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. So basically in this scene, he's up on top of the rooftop. He's trying to save Danny, and the Ripper is doing kind of a reenactment of what happened to Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in a previous time with the Ripper. Okay, you have to watch the movie. It's kind of confusing to explain. Anyway, so the Ripper goes to throw the axe at Arnold that's across the rooftop there, and he kind of just gives it a winging throw. I will say, guys, the motion in which he throws the axe, it looks like it holds up to the rotation in which the axe flies across the roof there. He kind of slung it, and it looked like it was flying about the same speed as his arms, so I do give them props on that. There are a lot of parts in the movie that are just kind of out of your mind, like, yeah, right. But that part of the movie actually is pretty decent. Like I said, his arm speed matches and the speed of the axe throw, and it's totally possible to do that with that size axe. Sling it with one arm across the rooftop if you had to. Pretty cool scene. And you guys check out that axe as it's stuck into the wall there. I don't know about that axe sticking into concrete like that. I don't know how well it would stick. But if you take a look at that axe when it hits, man, that thing was cool looking, was it not? Man, I'd love to have that thing. The infamous Prey movie. I see people trying to reenact this throw on YouTube all the time. All the time. Okay, so let's get into it. So she basically ties a rope to the end of her axe and she throws it into the tree, and then she can pull it back towards herself, catch it, and then throw it again. I will tell you guys that the backhand spinning throw that she does is possible. You guys have seen me do it a million times in videos. That throw is totally possible. Even without a rope on it, you can do it. It's pretty easy to do once you master it. So that's doable. That is realistic. That kind of fling to the side throw, you can do that. Now, as far as throwing the axe into the target and then pulling it back and catching it, I will tell you guys, it's possible. Totally possible. However, you have to commit to yanking that thing hard back towards yourself in order to get the axe out of the target and flying with the handle towards you. Any type of hesitation, light pull or whatever, you will get that axe dancing when it comes back to you. You have to give it equal force to come back so the handle's not moving, so you get the bit away from you as it's coming towards you. Would it be something that I would do? Yeah, but I'll be honest with you guys, with my experience with throwing axes and the level in which the bits go into the target, sometimes you're not going to be able to pull an axe that easily out of a target and get it to come back to you. You're just not. Especially if you hit the bit straight up and down, okay? You're pulling the axe up and then towards you, okay? It's not going to be an easy just rip it and pull it towards you. If you do that with the bit straight into the target, it's got to go up with the handle facing you and then come out towards you, which is what? Going to cause the axe to do this as it's coming back to you. So I think the risk isn't worth the gain when it comes to throwing an axe and pulling it out of a target. Could you do it? Yeah, maybe if you're throwing an axe into like a styrofoam target, one to pull it back, yeah. But to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know why you would want to do that. There's just too much that could go wrong in that. And if you're in the middle of battling, you don't have time for that. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't be worried about pulling stuff back. The last thing you'd want is to pull an axe back into you and have it hit you while you're in the middle of trying to defend yourself. So is it possible? Yes. But I just think it's unrealistic. In my opinion, I wouldn't try it if I were you. You can, but like I said, you'd have to pull that axe back to you at the same speed almost as it went into the target to get a real true fly back to you, to not have that axe wobbling. So, of course, guys, I'm going to throw the Patriot movie in here with Mel Gibson in it. Okay, so the scene, his son's standing there. He's been captured by a British soldier. He's got him with knife point, and, Mel Gibson's character standing there, and he's like, I'm going to have to try to throw this axe. I will tell you guys, this throw is possible, totally possible, but it's a lot harder than what people think it is. Think about this. When you go outside and throw an axe, you're coming back, and then you're throwing. You're not stopping in the middle, okay? Go outside and throw an axe like you normally do, then take your axe and start from back here and throw. It's a lot harder. It's possible. It's just a lot harder to do because it's not fluid. You're starting from back here, so you have to be very accurate with that throw, and it's a lot harder starting from this point instead of starting from back here and throwing. Now, I will tell you guys that the angle in which he's throwing, it looks like it's straight on. and it's a really good throw. It's a single rotation. It looks like it's about a single rotation. It looks like it's about a 15-inch tomahawk. So the distance looks about right. And, he starts from back here. And then the force in which the axe hit looks like it matches his arm speed. So that was a really good scene. So in the next scene, he has a British soldier stand up and try to run away. He runs over, grabs his axe from the guy that he just threw his axe at, and he starts chasing the guy. As you guys have seen, I can run and throw axes all day long, just like he did in this scene. However, the target is moving away from him. It's no different than a target moving towards you, except for one little difference. When you are chasing something that you're throwing your axe at, you're going to have to try at best, if you can, to match the speed in which the target is moving. It makes it a lot easier. Then you can judge. So if you're at a single rotation and you match the speed in which the target's moving, you can then take about a step or two in front of a single rotation throw and release the axe. That way it catches up to the target as it goes in. Same with a double rotation or a triple rotation. You're going to have to go a little bit closer than a normal stand at a double rotation throw. You're going to have to go a step or two closer, then release your axe for double rotation, so that way it meets up as the target's running away. So it is plausible. You can do it. Mel Gibson could have stopped and judged his target at a double or triple rotation and hit the target as well. But it looks like he was on a mission and he was moving fast and he wanted to throw his axe as he was running. Really good scene. It is doable, guys. I've done it before. It's totally plausible. It was a really good scene, and it looked like it did hit at which the distance he was running at, and it looked like the axe was flying at about the same power as he threw his axe out of his hand. So all in all, it matched up really well. I thought it was a really good scene. Of course, I had to throw a horror movie into this. Okay, so we got Jason in Friday the 13th. It's like he's chasing a guy and he comes across a double bit that has been stuck into a log. He picks it up and starts chasing him. I will tell you guys, this throw is actually really intuitive and it actually works. I do it with this type of felling axe throw, which is instead of when you're moving and throwing, or even if you were standing still, instead of coming up over your head to throw, he takes a sideways throw approach and then comes over. The reason why that works really good if you're moving and throwing an axe is because when you come up over your head, you're losing sight with your arms in front of your face. If you take us over the right shoulder approach to get it over your head, you have a lesser window to lose your target, okay? So it's actually pretty intuitive, and it's something that I do, which is kind of come back, take it over your head like this, and then throw. So it was really cool to see him take that approach of, instead of coming over his head, losing sight of the target, then throwing it, he kind of came over to the side, then up, and then over and threw his axe. I will tell you guys that the power in which he threw the axe didn't match the speed in which the axe was flying. It looked like he threw it, but he didn't throw it very hard. But man, that axe was humming. And of course, we had about 7 or 8 or 9 rotations, which wouldn't have matched up with how hard he actually threw it. But all in all, the reason why I picked this is because of the way in which he went to throw the axe. It's totally doable, something that I do, and I thought it was really intuitive to see that in a movie, especially a horror movie. They usually get all kinds of stuff wrong, but in this case, they did a really good job showcasing how you can come across your body, over your right shoulder, then over your head, and then throw. So that was pretty cool, and I did enjoy that scene. Okay, so we got a really old film here, which is The Vikings, which has got Kirk Douglas in it from 1958. And this is a really cool scene where they have the maiden up on the wall and he has to cut her hair down. I will say, guys, that the way in which he throws the axe is totally doable. I don't know if I would actually throw at someone's head if you were just trying to play around, but taking the movie into account, the first throw cuts off one lock, the second throw cuts off the second lock, and then he's got one lock of hair that is up and down vertical. He can't throw the axe normally, so he has to kind of throw it sideways to get the bit to hit the lock of hair this way. Totally doable. I've done that throw before, and I'll showcase that throw in the future where you can take your axe, kind of dip down sideways and throw the axe. It's all about wrist control, trying to keep the axe from wobbling, and just basically you're taking the axe, rotating this way and turning it and rotating it sideways. Same law of physics applies at a single rotation. If it's 9 feet, it's going to be 9 feet that way as well. It's just having to tilt your wrist down and keep your wrist locked as you release the axe this way. Totally doable. I thought the scene was kind of cool for an older movie. The effects were pretty decent for a 58 film, but I wanted to throw that one in there. Oldie, but a goodie. And it was really cool watching all three of those axe throws, kind of go where they went and seeing the special effects on it. But, he slung that axe and it kind of matched how hard he was throwing when the axe was flying through the air. So it was pretty cool. And I wanted to bring that one to you guys. Pretty decent movie as well, if you like older ones. And that's all the ones I have for today. I'm going to do other ones in the future, but those are the ones I wanted to start with. I did like doing this. So tell me what you guys think of those axe scenes. If you think those throws are doable, if you've done those throws before, put it in the comment section. Let me know if it's something that you think you could do. I did try to go through and pick out ones that I thought were real, that could be done. Now, there's a ton of movies out there that I could do, and I probably will in the future, that are basically unrealistic, like the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer one. There's a bunch of ones, and that one I'm just like, yeah, right. But those would be fun to cover too. But these ones were really fun because I thought they were realistic as hell. They really were, especially the Vikings show. And I'm not just saying that because of the Norse background thing I got going on. They were actually very realistic for what they were doing. They did a really good job with choreographing those axe throws to match how the person was throwing and how the axe would end up, except for the scene with Ivar where the axe hit sideways. That one's kind of weird, but all in all, pretty cool. Let me know what you guys thought of those scenes from those movies. If it brought back any memories for some of you, especially the Last Action Hero with Arnold in it. That one, guys, I watched that one with my kids. I have a good time with that movie. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're interested to know how I throw and why I think I have the ability to tell you if these are really good or realistic axe throws, go back and watch some of my videos first before you question me, and you'll see that I know what I'm talking about. But until next time, guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for all the support. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I'll talk to you guys in a second. If you want to stay. I'll tell you guys about my finger. So until next time, guys, see ya. Finger is healed. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I told you guys I'd tell you how I did it really quick. I'll explain. So basically how I throw axes, I taught myself how to throw axes, okay, how I do it. My style of axe throwing was self-taught. And that means I have to choreograph throws. I have to run around, do this, do that, and I choreograph it. I practice it. When I get new throws in my head, I go, hey, I'm going to go outside and try this, and I practice it and practice it and practice it. I was practicing a new throw, and the new throw is that I'm running towards the target, and I flip the axe up in the air so it does a rotation backwards towards me, and then I catch it with the handle and then throw sideways. I've been practicing that, okay? And I normally don't turn the camera on when I'm doing that. There's just no point because I'm practicing over and over and over again. Out front, go to flip the axe over, throw it up in the air as I'm running. And as I'm running, you guys don't know, Bert is the orange and white cat that is in videos, and then there's another black cat. These cats are not my cats. They're just neighborhood cats. And but Bert is really cool, the orange and white cat. She will actually, and if you guys haven't seen it in another video, I have a video where I'm throwing slow-mo. She's at my feet, and when I throw the axe, she takes off running towards the target. It's because she will chase the axes, and she'll jump up at the target and pop, 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 after the axe hits. Crazy cat, cool cat, but I have to get her out of there because I don't want, the axe falling on her. But, she comes and goes as she pleases. She's, a neighborhood cat. So as I'm practicing this throw in the front yard, I'm coming around the corner. I got the axe up in the air and I'm looking at the target. I'm looking back up at the axe. And as I'm coming back to grab it, I see the black cat come running around the corner towards me. Okay. And I see the black cat coming towards me, but it's starting to veer off a little bit to my right. So I thought I had time. Next thing I know, here comes Bert. Now, guys, this happened within seconds. Bert's coming behind and Bert's coming right at me. And the black cat kind of goes to the right, but then darts back and gets into my feet at this point. Now I'm moving. So I kind of stumble and I look at the axe coming down and I'm afraid it's going to fall on Bert, you know, the cat. And I love that cat. Cat's cool. So the axe is coming down. I'm like, I'm going to have to catch this axe. There's no, and guys, this, like I said, this is all within seconds. I didn't even think about it. As the axe is coming down, I reach up to grab it. And as I did, the bit of the axe went into my finger and went all the way down into my finger. That blackthorn was, that Nova, the Kova blackthorn was so sharp. I had just sharpened it. Guys, it went all the way down to the bone. All the way down to the bone. And I felt it, that, you know, go through my hand. And then when it went through my hand, I felt it hit the bone and it just sent a shockwave to my elbow. And I still grabbed it. You know, I had it like, it was more like this, like caught it like this, and then pulled it away and then dropped it behind me and they ran off. It's healed. I'm good, but I've gone outside and I've thrown, and I've realized that after going to the doctor, that the bone is actually, has been cut, has been, you know, shaved. So that's why it's healed, but that's why it's hurting so bad. So, we're going to take a break from throwing for a while and let this bone heal. Because when I go to put the axe, guys, I didn't even realize it. I finished that video throwing it, my axe with my bone chipped and that cut all the way down into my bone. So it was really deep. So, but we're going to give it a break and I'm going to make some videos like this and, until this bone heals.